And Susan, you can start whenever you want.
Sorry, here we go. Can you see
It's
me?
okay. Yeah, sure can.
I can't see myself, but that's all right. I know what I look like. So, good morning to you and anyone who happens to be there. If this topic seems boring, it is, but it's something that could be very significant to some of your clients. So, the government has put into effect a new rule that's going to affect residential real estate closings starting on March 1st. Not all of them, but non-finance closings through an institutional lender. So it'd be anything cash and anything that's like hard money or private financing would be subject to this rule if the purchaser is either a trust or some form of entity. So it wouldn't apply when there is an individual purchaser. What it's called is the FinCEN Residential Reporting Rule, and it's part of the Bureau of Insurance anti-money laundering efforts. And there has been a similar rule in effect in like 69 counties throughout the U.S. for a long time. Thankfully, we in Hampton Roads have avoided it, but now they were successful using this reporting stuff in these other areas. So now it's a nationwide rule for certain types of transactions without a monetary upper or downward limit. So what it means is that for something that closes after March 1st, if the buyer, and this is based on the buyer, if the buyer is either like a trust for estate planning purposes or a business trust, or if the buyer is an LLC or a corporation or a partnership, and they are not getting a loan through an institutional mortgage. So they're getting hard money, they're borrowing from, some other private lender, or they're paying cash. Then we, or whoever is the buyer's settlement agent, is going to be the primary person who's responsible for collecting a bunch of information and filling out a government form that has to be reported within 30 to 60 days after closing. And the form gets into it asks for personal information. You've got to provide not a copy of an ID, but date of birth, and then the number off of an ID, whether it's a U.S. ID or an ID from some foreign country, and your social security number, your address, and all of this business. And I can see some people who've been investing in real estate for years looking at this requirement and saying, I've never been asked to give this information before. I don't want to give it now. This is invasive. But the problem is, the settlement agent really doesn't have a choice. There's like a $1,400 per transaction civil penalty, and then there can be criminal fines on top of that if you don't report. So it will be a showstopper if someone refuses to provide the information that's needed for this the government reporting form. It eventually the softwares that we all use for closing will have a way that the link that can be sent to the buyer, and the seller has to provide the information too, but the sellers are used to providing that information for 1099 reporting, just not necessarily as much information. But both the buyer and the seller will have to input things, and usually it'll get to the point where the softwares will have a portal and a secure link that it can be done online. But at the beginning, it may have to be collected on the actual government form manually. So I'm sorry, it's going to be a pain in the neck. For those of us who are used to having the cash transactions and the hard money loans just go off quickly with no super invasive examination of anything. Unfortunately, that is now changing. Um, so let me see if there's anything. The question about who has to report, thankfully, you all do not have to do any reporting as a brokerage or as individual agents. So I'm mainly just giving you this information so that when your client may ask you questions about why they're being asked to provide this information, you will know why. And then they can be more prepared that this is normal. It's our government. We don't really have any choice. I guess the question is whether there are any exemptions to this rule. Apparently, a 1031 exchange is exempt. I guess at that point, they're relying on the intermediary to collect the information, so they don't make the settlement agents collect it. If there's, like a sale from the bankruptcy trustee, apparently those types of sales are exempt. And of course, if there's an institutional mortgage where the lender itself already has an anti-money laundering program in place. So any institutional lender that you deal with in residential mortgages, I'm sure is qualifies because they have their own anti-money laundering requirements in place. Unfortunately, this is also going to apply, this rule also applies to transfers where no money exchanges. So, for example, if you buy up personally investment properties and then you later deed them into your LLC, when you deed them into your LLC, whoever prepares the deed, whether it's us or some other law firm, will be required to report it on the same form that has 111 fill-ins. Not all of them will apply to every transaction, but it could be up to 111 blocks in this form that have to be filled in. So that's going to be inconvenient for people who are, and also for people who are, creating a trust for estate planning purposes, and they deed their property into it. Whoever is the preparer is going to have to, or the preparer of that deed is going to have to file a report, whether it's the people themselves or whether it's the law firm. So anyway, I'm sorry for the bad information on the fact that there's going to be this hassle of a requirement at the beginning. It may be a little awkward because the softwares that we all use are not quite where you can go online and just fill in the information yet, but they should be there very soon. So that is really the only thing I was going to talk about this morning. Um, does anybody have any questions about this? Probably not. So,
That's really good information, though. You said
yeah.
March 1, right?
March 1. So, I mean, what we should be doing is if we should by the middle of this month, if you send us over a contract for a cash closing, we should be sending you out a request for this information, with an explanatory email as to why we have to collect it. We should be sending that directly to the parties to the transaction. And you'll be getting them, from other settlement agents, companies, law firms as well, when they are handling the buyer side. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was my question. I was like, should we start doing it now since those closings could
yeah.
potentially be after March 1?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would expect that we'll start inquiring, sending those information requests out probably by next week sometime, for any that are
To
already
help
in the
you guys
pipeline.
out, is this a form you can share with us that we could put into our system that they could pre-fill?
That's an
Or,
interesting point. Yeah, there is a Bureau of Insurance form that I'll send you. And maybe at the beginning, I'm going to ask our person, our IT person in the office, slash office manager, Eric, if he knows if our software has already got the form where we can just send a link. But if not, yeah, I'll go ahead and email you the form today. That,
okay, yeah, because we
that
can put it in
from,
our system and they
yeah.
can send it over to the investor to where they
Mhm.
just can pre-fill it out, you know?
Yeah,
Um, it won't be
right.
required, obviously, over on
And
our end,
I
but
wish they had something where, once someone has filled one out, they never had to again, but I don't see that there's any sort of like, okay, you've already done this in the past, we don't require this information on you again. I'm not seeing that there's any sort of, repeat customer, so to speak, exemption on the
is
government website.
is digital signatures allowed on this form?
I believe, that's a good question. I'll have to look at the signature block. I was looking at the form earlier and I didn't actually look to see if there even was a signature block at the bottom. Um, Probably pull it up. Let me see if I can get it up in front of me now.
Okay.
I can't get back to it right now. Sorry.
Okay, that's all
Yeah,
right.
I will. That's a good question. Yeah.
Because if
I would
not,
think
then
so.
we can leave it blank, send it over to you guys after they pre-fill, and then you
Yeah.
guys can sign it, closing.
Right. I mean, the most important thing is the gathering of the information and getting over any hurdles with people, not wanting to provide it. But hopefully that won't be the case. So,
Right.
yeah.
That was really good information.
Yeah. Well, they've been putting this off for about a year. I mean, it kept getting postponed, and Fidelity National Title filed suit against the government, and the suit has not been successful thus far, trying to block the implementation of it. So, yeah, it's been in the background for a while, but now it's finally going to happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Does anybody have anything, since this was short, anything different that you have any questions about this month?
No one here.
All
If
right.
anybody online has anything, you can unmute if you would like to ask or say something.
Well, very good. It's been great working with you all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I hope the
Always.
bagels show up. Austin was sending bagels over, but I don't know if they
Oh,
made it
yes, they've
yet.
already showed. We
Okay.
got them at like 9:45, so
All
super
right.
early.
Very good.
Thank you for
All
that.
right. Thank
All
you
right,
very
then,
much.
Susan. All right, Captain Mortgage, you are up, sir.
Sweet. Credit is loving. Don't show. Just let me know. I got it. How's everyone doing today?
Good. How are you?
Yes, yes. It's like Groundhog Day now.
I know.
Let's go.
It's not feeling so.
We had a heat wave come out today, so everybody probably just has their swimsuits on right now, and they're just like about to go hop in the pool.
I think they're all snuggling in their beds,
Yes.
hoping they felt better.
Yeah, so I'll have a great event coming up at the Forest Direct. It's called Direct Connect Networking. The vision is to hopefully do this every month around the same time, the third Thursday of every month. It's a great networking group because the sphere of people that are already there, yes, there will be other realtors and real estate agents there. There will be investors there. But the big thing is there'll be a lot of different trades as well that work with Floors Direct. Everything. I'm trying to get my plumbers out there. I'm trying to get my roofers out there, my home inspectors. I'm trying to get everybody that I know. As well as there's other people involved too. Cat Contreras from Title Quest is a part of the group as well. And then the owner of Floors Direct, the floor doctor, who's going to be it's pretty much at his warehouse. He has the best prices in town, as far as LVP goes, and that's really what we're really, you know, as my friend, I'm trying to help him promote his business. He does a great job at it anyway, but we're just trying to expand the sphere, just like with anything else. So I do encourage you, if you do have anybody that's rehabbing their home, please check him out. He has a nice uh, showroom that he's built out. He stocks a ton of different floors. They're all made in the USA, direct from the manufacturer. So there's no middleman. That's why he says he's got the lowest prices in town. So other than that, they also do carpet as well. So they've got another warehouse that's next door that's got a huge warehouse that's just full of carpet that they stock. So other than that, I have that here. I'll post that on y'all's page. If there's a URL, click link. That'll be in my office for that. Other than that, we still have the Community Heroes grant with VHDA. It's still rocking and rolling. They still have money for that, $10,000 for anyone that's in the service type of, not that type of service, but this military or first responders, things of that sort. Other than that, the $40,000 grant with Norfolk, I did just check with them, and they said they still have that as well. And I got some great literature coming on that. My marketing department, I've kind of pushed them to give me some new stuff, for the new year. So we'll be pushing that out as well. And then, yeah, that's all I can really think of as far as that goes. We got a ton of events coming up, so just keep an eye out for that from now until the middle of the year. Other than that, I mean, rates are pretty much where they're going to be. They're not really moving up. They're not moving down.
Where are they?
A lot of you. What's that?
Where are they right now?
I'd say probably conventional is probably still in the low sixes. I mean, we can get in the fives for sure with a small rate buy down.
Okay.
VA, we're in the mid to high sixes with a rate buy down. We could probably get you in the high fours, to be honest with you, depending on the client.
Cool.
But that's gonna be a pretty decent rate buy down. You're probably gonna need some
Thanks.
closing
Thanks.
potentially. But anyway, yes. So there's that. Like I said, we're pretty much in a very healthy market regarding the rates. If you look at it historically, I've said it before, I'll say it again. From say 2001 until February of 2020, the rates pretty much were in the fives on average, right? If you look at the whole chart and you take the average, they were in the fives, maybe tipping into the sixes. So where are we at right now? In the fives, tipping into the sixes. So my point is, I don't really think that the rates are going to come down much more because we're kind of in a healthy market regarding that. And then as far as I know, a lot of people say, oh, well, the Dow Jones hit its record high, so we must be doing great. Well, I want to encourage y'all. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The Dow Jones does not push rates. They do not push interest rates for mortgages. If you want to key in on what that is, inflation is the big driver of that, along with the 10-year and the 30-year Treasury bond. So if the Treasury bond's up, rates are up. Treasury bond's down. That's the rates are down. And that's your way to kind of track where rates have been historically in the last maybe month or 3 months or 6 months.
I have a question. I was
Yes.
gonna have Jess go over it, but I don't see her on here. I don't see Phil. So you have the floor, my friend. We had a not an issue. Wasn't an issue. It was a great thing. The client wanted to pay all of their taxes and their insurance themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having it escrowed, they wanted to pay it themselves.
Mhm.
Um, we were aware that interest rates go up a quarter point because of that, because it's considered a risk. So, is that quarter point universal? Like, is that just what every, okay, all right. I wasn't
Very
sure.
standard.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just one lender
Yeah.
or if it was all lenders was a
Yeah.
quarter
That's-
point across. I did
yeah.
Google it and it seemed like it was.
Yeah, it's very standard. Those are called LLPAs, loan level pricing adjustments. So different LLPAs would be something like that, or an 800 credit score versus a 650 credit score.
Right.
You know,
Is-
money
is-
loan value, things of that sort will be loan level pricing adjustments. All that fancy acronym stands for is they move the rate if you are more risky or less risky.
Right.
That's the layman's terms.
Is there a general rule about, are there loans that won't accept you doing your own escrow stuff? Or is it always flexible for you to do or not to do?
I would say the first that you could do it until they say we can't. I would say the answer is yes until somebody says, no, we can't do that anymore.
The benefit is still for the buyer that they're not going to miss a payment.
Correct. And that's the whole reason they think that, okay, when we're collecting all this money up front, we're going to make sure that at least the bulk of it's paid, because
Right.
you're most likely going to get hit with an adjustment at some point, and they'd rather be responsible for, have you responsible for $300 or $500 adjustment than a $2,000 adjustment.
So
Yeah, I
here's
just didn't know. I just didn't know if having the escrow was elective on any kind of loan, or are there times when it's not elective?
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand your question. So my answer to that is you won't, it's elective until they say it's not. Like, yes, you can elect to pay your escrows outside of closing and not have them collected from your mortgage company, but
Right.
it's going to come with that quarter point interest hit. And there is really not a loan that's like elective versus not elective. It's instituted until they say it's not. Right? Does that make sense?
Well, I just didn't know, is it my decision or is it the loan company's decision?
Ultimately, it's your decision because it's your money.
Right.
So
Okay.
ultimately, it's your decision. If you decide that you want to, escrow your own stuff in the very beginning, then you can do that. It just comes with that pricing adjustment of the
Gotcha.
quarter point.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
question is, if you do choose to, let's say that you chose to escrow it, let them escrow it. So you didn't get that quarter point. Can you change it later?
That's going to be up to you and your servicer. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
That's what I'm
Some
saying.
people having it changed because they did a refi. That's the only.
Sure.
But
Yes.
then they actually weren't happy with their decision.
Yeah, if they could do that during a refi for sure, because they're changing the terms of the loan, right? Or if you were doing a loan modification, you could probably do it then as well. But just remember that the person doing the refi may not tell you, but
You're more risky.
well, your rate's gonna be a quarter point higher. So at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't care that you're paying an extra $100 a month or whatever the number is, then so be it. Pay it on your own. It's definitely an option for all loans. Even on the non-QM side, you can escrow your own stuff. But ultimately, like Jimmy Ray was saying, it's up to once you start getting into the non-QM space, it's up to the investor on whether or not they're going to be like, yeah, we'll allow you to do that. We're just going to hit you with a rate adjustment, or they're going to say kick rocks. We're collecting it regardless because it's my money. They don't follow TRID. They don't follow Fannie and Freddie guidelines. They have their own set of guidelines that they underwrite to. So once it comes to the non-QM space, it gets a little bit more Wild West, I guess is probably the best way to put it, because they can kind of do what they want because it's their money. But that reminds me too. We got a great 1099 loan that I'm working on for someone. They came to me and they were like, this self-employed person, and they can't get a loan or whatever. And they were like, I said, well, how are they paid? And they said, well, they're self-employed. I said, well, are they 1099? They said, yeah. So we can do a 1099 loan. It's a 1-year 1099. And the only real caveat is that they've either been in that industry for 2 years. So 1 year prior plus the year of 1099. So the example is somebody like an anesthesiologist that worked for a hospital, and then they decided to go out on their own. And they've been doing that. They did that all of 2025. They got a 1099 cut for that, and we would just use that for their income. Yep. So, yep. 1099 loans, bank statement loans, P&L loans. That's another good one too. If people's bank statements are all screwy, we can do these P&L, profit and loss loans, where we just, give them an audited P&L from a accountant, and there's their income. So there's a lot of funky stuff out there. So funky stuff. Damn it. Funky stuff. Funky stuff. Yeah, there you go. That was a good one. But yes, if you're interested in learning more about the Direct Connect, please let me know. I forgot to tell you the date. It's next Thursday from 3:30 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Free food and free drinks. So if that doesn't get you, I don't know what will.
3:36. That's a good time.
Yep. Yeah. Perfect. See y'all.
All right.
Any more questions?
No, I don't. Well, I do not see any. Nope, you're good. Bill and Jess are not here. Hopefully they're feeling okay. I don't see Meredith on here. If I say you're not here and you are here, just yell at me. I do not see Greg on here or Tina. That's a lot of people on here. Hopefully they're all right too. Usually we have like one absence, not 6 on those. And I know a lot of agents are home. You guys are not feeling well. I hope that you do feel better soon. Caitlin is texting me back, but hopefully she's going to be able to get on here. Caitlin, the next slide is for you. Can you unmute? Caitlin.
Am I here?
There you are. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Just quickly. So with January 1st, we have changed a few things. With regards to all closings, referrals are to be paid out directly at closing to that firm, as well as the service fee is going to be paid to True File Services. It should be on the Alta. We have a new, well, not necessarily a new form, but in your closing checklist. Oh, if I could, my computer's being very slow, but there is a compensation notice form for buyer and seller that can be filled out that you can give to your closing company, as well as the wiring information. And if you guys have any questions with any of this, you can call me, text me, let me know before your closing date so it goes a little bit more smoothly, and I'm happy to help you out.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. And on another note with Caitlin, even though she works from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays, she still works. So if you need anything, you can always still call the office. The phone rolls over to her cell. So you can still call the office and get a hold of her. A couple people had come in and they're like, okay, I know this can't be done because Caitlin's on here. Nope. Caitlin works from home on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She still works. So nothing falters and gets left behind.
I'm still here 9 to 5.
Yep. I do want, the collaborators are not here, but I do want you guys to go ahead and scan this if you want. So I'm going to pull it up. This is for our office events and training classes. You can scan and it'll take you directly to our Facebook page, to the events, and you'll be able to see what's going on there. We had a meeting, yesterday, and we went over all the events for this year as to what's on track, and how they're going to be. So we're going to be updating that very soon with the dates. We just have to solidify them with different places, but those should be updated very soon for the year for large events. Now your monthly events and weekly events, those are already there. So you can go ahead and do that. You can take a screenshot of that if you want as well. Plus this will go out. Don't forget to go on our YouTube channel and subscribe. You'll get updates every time there is a class or a meeting that gets uploaded. So don't forget to do that as well. All right, Lucy, you are up.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't really have a whole lot, just a reminder to make sure that you're submitting your documents within the 48 hours of signing. And acknowledging that we're working with technology and technology is not always perfect. Take time every week, please, to go into your deals in Brokerment and make sure that everything is submitted. Because there are times when I get notes that's like, I know I submitted this, I know you've seen it, but it doesn't look like it. So here it is again. So just make sure that things are being submitted, because we need to have that information so that RAIN can be updated, so that we know what's going on and if there are potential problems. Just you've got to submit your documents. Other than that, LLC docs are necessary for the purchasers or sellers who are purchasing or selling with an entity. We need that. Remember, your entity signatures have to be the signed name, then the title, whether it's member, partner, owner, jerk, whatever it is. Oh, sorry, Siri kicked in here. Whatever the title is, it doesn't have to be complicated, especially since these are more RAIN rules with how the signature goes. We don't want to complicate it and make things harder to deal with RAIN. So signature, title, and then under the line, the LLC or entity name. And you can do the title and this entity in a text box, and your client only has to sign it. It doesn't change anything for them. It's a little different on how you set it up. And if you need help with that, Caitlin knows how to do it and she can help you. I don't see the agent facing side of Brokerment, so I don't know how it works. So Caitlin's your answer person. If you have questions on how to set that up, she knows how to do it. That's pretty much all I've got. Does anybody have anything they need from me?
See anything in the chat? Everyone here shaking their head no. I will say, whenever you have a referral, make sure you're putting it in, put the client's name. I would also put the brokerage's name that's, handling that referral so that we know when the check comes in, who it goes to, and also the state. I would put the state. Hopefully they're not working in more than one state. I know there's some that are on the line that could be, like in North Carolina, Virginia, but if they are, just put maybe both of those. That way we can look it up without having to try to bother everybody. And we know
Yeah, who doesn't like easy money? If you're getting easy money, definitely claim it. Goodness.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I just want to say too, absolutely call me, text me, email me, anything. I'm happy to help with regards to referrals or the LLC, putting that on the bottom. I can help you. Just give me a call and let me know.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can't help you if we don't know you need help. Don't sit in a corner and worry or wonder. Reach out. We're here.
And when you do call, if one of us is busy, leave a message or a text, because as we're making our calls back, we check those texts and those messages. We get a lot of calls through the day from other brokerages and whatnot. So we're not checking to say, okay, we missed, a call. We need to call them back. But we do put the messages and the text messages in order of importance and urgency. So make sure you leave us a text or a message, because if not, we're not going to call you back. We'll think that you already handled it or whatever the case may be. But just leave us a text or a message whenever you do that.
Exactly.
All right. We're gonna have an early ending to our meeting today because we don't have a lot of speakers. All right, we do have though David Oglesby for the listing agent of the month for volume and transactions. And we also have Stacy Porter for the closing agent of the month for volume and transactions. They both took a sweep in those categories. So congratulations to you both. Unesh and Nikita, they are in India right now, but they clean swept as well. Closing team, listing team, volume units for the month. Congratulations, Unesh Nikita Holmes. And also Fabiola has cats. So, and a little while back, I don't know if I put on her, but she had sold her 100th house when she was with us. And that was like a really big thing. So if you guys want to send me something like that, I think that's a big accomplishment. If you don't post that yourself, send it to me. It might take me a few days, but I'll make something for you to put out, because I think that's great to showcase that you've done a lot of homes and have helped a lot of people in Hampton Roads, or whatever you want to put with it, a little video. I think it's great. But congratulations, Bobby, and one more congratulations to Christy. She had the babies. So Alyssa and Kevin, I actually got to see them yesterday and hold their little sweet tiny bodies. They were so cute. And they're doing great. Everyone's doing great. She looked great, especially for having twins. And a C-section, she looked amazing. Getting around just fine, was carrying the baby in the carrier. I mean, she was doing great.